Hey, welcome to the Lesley and Lisa show. Today's hot topic is love, hate, COVID.
Plus, we have a guest that I'm so excited about. I just peed a little.
Okay, stay tuned.
Welcome to the Lesley and Lisa show.
Hey, welcome to the Lesley and Lisa show, the show where we talk about anything and everything because nothing is off limits. Hi, Lise.
Hi,
Ooh,
Les.
Is that your fancy face?
Yeah.
Hi. I
Hi.
like it. How you doing?
I'm good. New stay-at-home orders.
And you peed in your pants.
And I peed in my pants. So I'm very uncomfortable for a lot of reasons.
No, listen, by the way, our guest is so much fun. I peed in my pants too.
Good.
I didn't really. Anyways, stay-at-home orders. What? What is up with that?
By the way, I was going to have a friend come over today. And when I have a friend come over, it's backyard, 15 feet apart, eat our own food, drink our own drinks. But she's not even coming because we're such rule followers. And there's this. Well,
it's weird because in LA, it's like back in March, we had very strict stay-at-home orders.
Yes.
And now we have these quasi-weirdo stay-at-home orders where you can go shopping at Target and get your hair done and your nails done, but God forbid you see anybody. So
right.
I don't remember who wrote a really funny tweet or post or whatever. You tweet a really funny tweet. Twitter is not my gig. Okay.
Oh, no.
Anyways, this guy tweeted, whatever. He said something like, I can't remember his name, but he said something like, so I guess, he wrote his mom, said, I guess we'll have to meet up at Target together because that's where we can go and see one another because you're not allowed to come over to my house, but I can see you. Anyways, what he posted was so much funnier.
So here's the thing. Just a quick education for you. Twitter's all about doing things in 140 characters or less. Yeah. And what you just did was butcher everything about the truncated version of telling a story.
All right, let's be clear. You all can attest to the fact that when it comes to social media, I am completely inept. I'm trying to figure it out.
But I didn't know you were equally inept at retelling a post from social media. Now we have so much to teach you. But yes, it doesn't
make sense. Let's get back to COVID.
But here's a question, Les.
Yeah.
Are you telling me in all honesty that hair salons and nail salons are still open?
Yes. I mean, at a smaller percentage, like I guess the capacity is 25% as opposed to maybe it was 50% a few months ago.
I think that's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. Look, here's what's maddening to me. This is what's maddening to me. If we all stayed home, and I know it's an inconvenient time because it's the holidays, if everybody stayed the F home and wore a fucking mask when they went out, this would go away. But because people cannot handle that, and I'm not going to get political about it.
No, you're not. Do you want me to pull it out? I don't have it ready.
It's okay. I had it ready. But because people can't comply with that one simple rule, we will
the one simple rule actually is just wear a fucking mask.
Wear a fucking mask.
That's it. Not even stay home. Go to the grocery store. Go do some errands that you need to do, but wear a fucking mask. Funny you should mask.
I'm using all my signs today.
I know you are. Mine are up there. I can't reach them. So
all right.
Anyways, but I did want to say one thing. Listen, in Los Angeles, no joke. I just heard from a friend who works at West Hills Hospital, and they're completely overloaded right now. She said they're just being steamrolled, that they're full capacity in the hospital.
And did you also talk to our friend Eric?
And I texted Dr. Eric, and he said they're getting slammed as we speak.
Oh, and
so
we know he's not an alarmist.
No, God.
So for him to say that, we know it's not child's play.
Anyways, but you know what? We're still going to have our hot topic. Let's do our hot topic.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
We want to get to our guest. Hot topic.
I went with a super high-pitched one today.
So the hot topic is love, hate, COVID. At the moment, I just hate it. But we do understand in perspective, there are things to feel blessed about in this.
If you're lucky. If you're lucky enough to find things to feel blessed about during this time.
You're right. You're right, because there's plenty of people out there who find nothing about this.
Correct.
And my heart goes out to those.
Mine does as well, and I hate it, and it just makes me sad and angry. But so we're going to say something that we have found to appreciate about this time.
Okay, should we do it at the same time? Or no, Zoom can't pick that up. Shoot, we can't say it at the same time.
I think they're going to be different.
Oh, they are? Okay, so 1, 2, 3. What do you love about COVID?
Oh, well, first of all, it's not what we love about COVID.
No, well, what do we love about this stay-at-home order time? Yeah, we love nothing about COVID.
I have loved the extra time I've gotten to spend with my family.
Okay, no, I'm kidding. That's amazing.
And the fact that I have used this time partially for self-improvement. I went back to school. I'm in school now, which, by the way, statistics class is not making me feel like I've improved anything. I just feel like an idiot.
Well, geez. I mean, if I had to go back to school, it wouldn't be what I would choose.
I didn't choose it. But also getting to spend all this extra time with you.
Yeah,
and I've been working out a lot more.
Oh yeah, you have. That damn Peloton. I have the Peloton too.
Yeah, I know.
Know it.
How's it doing with your coats hung over it?
Doesn't have any coats hanging on it because I'm not that dumb.
No, but can I sell you out?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm only stalling now because our guest isn't here yet, but also we need to hear what you're thankful for. He just got here, but okay. I'm just going to say this and we're going to have a whole show about it. Oh, you're not working out because we're shooting so many shows and you'd have to rewash your hair every day.
Hate washing my hair every day. Listen, one of these days, if I have the nerve, I'll come to the show with a full-on Jufro and it ain't pretty.
That would be amazing.
And dirty hair looks better than clean hair, at least on me.
So get some sweat in there.
But listen, I'm playing tennis.
I know, but why'd you buy a Peloton? This has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Fuck you right now. Want to know what I love about COVID?
Yes.
That you only see me from the waist up.
By the way, you know this has nothing to do with that.
I know. No, I was going to say what I loved about COVID was I've really enjoyed really getting into alcohol. And I have drank a lot more than I ever thought I would. But you know what? I've had a lot of COVID courtyard cocktails. And I've had some real genuine time with smaller groups of friends because, you know, I have a million friends.
Yes.
So I have spent this time having small groups of friends in my courtyard all spread out. And we just drank because you're not going to eat. We don't want to deal with that. So it's just easier for everybody to bring a big, you know, jug and drink on up. And
you bring both of your big jugs.
Yes, I do.
I
have saved those for our guest.
Yes, you should. Okay, who is now in the waiting room? So I'm going to introduce
Let's let him in. I'm so excited to meet him.
Okay, I'm just going to say this: Clean House, American Ninja Warrior, Live Rescue, Celebrity Apprentice, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, stand-up comedian, super friggin' hot, and
doctor,
he's a doctor. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Iseman.
God, and he came in so quick.
Oh no, Matt, did I get to you too quickly?
I'm right here. Here I am. Let's say hello.
God, you're a professional. He just was like, everybody else takes like 5 minutes to figure out start video, stop. Anyway.
But he's right there.
Matt.
Hi, Lesley. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm good. I am good. Glad to be here with you two.
You're the best is what you are. Let's be honest.
Seriously.
Lisa, where are you at a hotel, Lisa? It's such a professional backdrop.
Oh my God, you do look like
everybody. I know everybody. So this is where the magic happens.
Ooh.
I know. And when we've done very little to our house in the 16 years we've been here, but one thing we did do was put grass cloth and get a new like low profile bed so I could feel like I was in a hotel room.
Does Russ bang his shins on the bed frame all the time?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah,
you were thinking you were going to say bang his shins. But
bang, right. No, hey, we're going to keep an adult here, or unless we're not, then I'm totally down with that too.
We are, but in the other way. He is a tall man like yourself, but he likes the low profile bed.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
My bed is like 7 feet off the ground. I just sort of lean over and fall into it. It's very Very lazy.
That's probably smart because when you do acrobatics, you hurt yourself.
Yes, that is true.
Yes.
Thank you for reminding me of my physical limitations and the fact that those who can do, those who can't teach, and those who really suck host. That's what it comes down to.
So I guess Lesley and I suck.
Yeah.
Hey,
whatever.
you guys are the best.
We are. He doesn't even know me yet, and he thinks I'm the best already.
If Lisa Arch is working with you, Lesley, it's all the endorsement I need.
Oh, man.
Nice. So, Matt, all right, we have so much to talk to you about. So I'm going to ask you the obvious question, which everybody has asked you a million times already. So you're a doctor.
Yes.
You're still a doctor. Like, by the way, can you still be a doctor? Do you have to like take certain classes?
Well, as my dad points out, you'll always be a doctor. Nobody can take that degree away from you unless there are lawsuits and some other things involved. No, so I got my MD. I am still a doctor. I'm actually still licensed in the state of California as a general practitioner. And if you got sick, I would advise going to anybody but me. It's been 20 years. I would use leeches. I'm useless.
All right, so listen, but I'm going to ask you a question. If you're not feeling well and you're like, oh, I think I might have something, can you just write yourself a prescription and go off?
I probably could. Nobody with good sense would fill it, and nothing for controlled substances. I don't have my DEA number because I'm a comedian, and if you know the world of comedy, if it came out that I could write for Oxy, it would be like, Matt, let's go on the road and bring the pills. And I didn't want to end up.
You could get a little amoxicillin if you needed it. Right?
Oh yeah, little antibiotics and things, and I did that. But honestly, even now, I'm like, if I'm feeling sick, I'm gonna go see a real doctor rather than playing home diagnostic games, because inevitably at this point now, I'm on WebMD just like everybody else. Going, I could have that. That's just what I could have.
Do you do that really? Do you get online?
No, you know, honestly now, I mean, I've had enough health scares where I've been like, I know what it really feels like, where if it's something, and even if it is, I'll usually be one of those people who are like, I'll walk it off. It'll be fine.
Well, you know,
then it turns out my foot is broken.
Wait, but because doctors are the worst patients. I mean,
they are horrible.
Always.
Horrible.
Right?
We always think we know what's best. And I'm very fortunate in that I'm like, oh no, you tell me what to do, doctor. I'll do it. I'll do that.
Because you take care of yourself. You care about your health.
I try. Honestly, you know, that's one of the struggles in life. Honestly, the most difficult thing for me is diet. And it's something I work on so much.
Me too.
It's just, I live alone, and I was cooking a bit during the pandemic. Lisa was kind enough to help teach me how to make a delicious oatmeal. But honestly, inevitably, I end up ordering a lot of food, and you try to order well, and all of a sudden you're like, you can throw an hamburger and some cookies if you want. I'm like, yes, please. Yes, please. It's been, and honestly, that's been one of the real challenges of the pandemic, aside from the obvious challenges. One of the things for me is really taking care of yourself, because I think it can go one of two ways and initially when the pandemic started, I was in my bed playing video games, ordering Postmates. And after like 10 days of strolling through Greece and Assassin's Creed, this video game, I go, this is unsustainable. And I will have a heart attack if I sustain this. And then I went the other way, totally got into working out and cooking. And now I've reached kind of this healthy state, you know, balance between just doing indulgent things. And, you know, it's the struggle. I think we've all had a chance to try to focus on self-care, but it's tough. And that's one of the things I love with Lisa Arch is watching her daily, somebody who's become such a proselytizer for Peloton, but who's walking the walk.
She is walking the walk. Listen, we were just talking about that at the top of the show, because our hot topic today was love, hate, COVID, like things you've loved, things you've hated. Go ahead, Lisa, brag about your Peloton.
No, I'm not going to brag. This is what I'm going to say. I have found, and especially over the last 9 months, for me, I work out because I want to live a long life and I want to be healthy, and because shit like osteoporosis and osteoarthritis runs in my family and all that, but also because I like to indulge, and I don't want to be a person who walks around not fucking eating anything ever. So, you know, Thanksgiving, I went for it. My birthday, I went for it. And for several days. But then I still get on the bike and I just work out an extra 20 minutes. And that's what I try to tell everyone. Do it so that you can live your life and have fun.
That's it. It can't all be this aesthetic lifestyle of just denying yourself things. In fact, so I was with a buddy who is in horrible shape, and he's the first to admit it, my buddy Jordan, and he was looking at a Peloton bike, and I go, I know the perfect person to call. I called Lisa. He just got the bike. He's been doing 2-a-days, and he's just like, I'm all in on this. He's just like, I'm loving it. It's amazing. And one of the things I think that he identified was he loves getting on the class where there are people in there, especially on the old classes from before times.
Oh yeah.
Because I think we're all missing that sense of community, and Peloton has been so smart about making you feel a part of something bigger, even when you're in your living room.
Listen, let's all say Peloton about 10 more times. We'll
are they a sponsor yet?
Then we're all going to get free ones.
Yeah,
I already have mine.
Do you guys know? Do you know how much free clothing I've gotten from Peloton though? Because I've sold so many bikes, and every time I sell a bike, I get $100 gift certificate to the apparel, the boutique. So basically, all I wear now are Peloton clothes. That's all.
That's awesome, though.
Thank you.
You're awesome. All right, I guess I'm going to get off this interview and get right on my fucking Peloton.
Yes, you are, little lady.
I'm feeling very guilty that I didn't do that today. Listen, I play tennis.
I know, but
almost every day, or I try.
All right, Matt, I got a question for you.
Yes.
You've been on a million talk shows. Yep. Everybody knows you now. You've blown up. You're the second, I would say you're the second busiest man in show business behind Ryan Seacrest, but I think you might be the first now.
It's been amazing. I mean, between American Ninja Warrior and the fact that we were able to pull off season 12 during the pandemic, we went to St. Louis, did our season. I've been doing live rescue. One of the great things of the lockdown was we couldn't travel. Usually I was going to New York every week to do that show. When lockdown started, I had some damage to the house. And so I ended up building a studio. All of a sudden, live rescue comes back and I'm shooting in my guest house. And it's been amazing. I have a new show coming out tomorrow night, or Wednesday, the 2nd, called Rescue Cam, a clip-based show. I filmed it in my guest house. We already got a pickup for another series of episodes. It's been awesome. I'm going to be
so busy.
I'm shooting. I have a podcast game show. I roped Lisa into playing once, but it's we're actually going to be shooting the TV pilot for it. So hopefully it'll go. Yeah, I've been lucky. I've been so lucky during the pandemic to be able to work. And one of the things, and the other thing, I've been a contestant on a game show called 25 Words or Less with Meredith Vieira. And to me, that was such a joy. We would go, we'd get tested in the morning, we would mask up, we'd play, we'd be in individual pods in a studio in Marina Del Rey. But the thing it gave me was a connection again to people, because we'd see each other kind of, around the trailers on the set. And then when you're in studio, you're in your own pod, and it's just like this. But there was just something about playing a game that takes you out of everything that's going on. And it was so much fun to get to do these things. And I'm so, aside from the fact that I'm working and making money, it's for me, it's feeling like I'm getting to do what I love to do. And to me, that gives me such a positive sense of well-being, getting to work. I do so much better in life when I am working, when I have that structure, I have that motivation. So it was nice, because for a while there, it was, as for so many people, there was nothing. And I was falling apart.
Yeah. No, that's okay. You're by the way, why the hell do you think we started this? Because we were both going out of our minds.
Yeah. Absolutely. But
okay, well, we don't have some fancy game show that we're shooting.
No, honestly though, but what you guys are doing is I think people are starting to see that there really aren't any limitations, that in our hands, we're walking around with the broadcast studio, that we all have the technology to do it. And it's one of those things, I think, when people are passionate about it, that's what people respond to. And when you guys create something that's a labor of love and people start to discover it, and that's when we've really realized what an embarrassment of riches we have now, where, Netflix and Hulu and then YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. And we're seeing all these people get so creative in the ways they're generating new content. And sometimes it's to try to advance their career, but a lot of times it's for sanity.
Well,
what else are we going to do?
Even you were doing just the Instagram lives, like you mentioned before, cooking breakfast every morning.
And I loved it. I loved it. And it gave me some structure in the day where I was like, I got to get up, I got to cook. And it was like 15 minutes, but I'd see people on there and it started to feel like a community. It was so much fun. And it was so good for me, A, to start cooking, but B, just to have that every day where I was like, I'm gonna have some interaction with some human beings, even if it is just on the screen. But it was fun, and I think for them, they're like, it was just a comfort of feeling like we're together, and I think that's what we have the ability as entertainers to do, is give people an escape, a sense of normalcy.
Absolutely.
All right, Lisa. So ask him the big question.
So this is what I was going to ask you. can you help us, Matt? Because we're a new show, right? And
yes.
we need, obviously, an audience. And I think the best way for that to happen is if you gave us a scoop, something that you've never said on any other talk show. And, you know, if you want, you can make it up. But know that it will turn into something.
Well, I think I just
believe.
did kind of, because I don't think I was supposed to tell people that Factorious is being shot as a TV show.
Oh, no. Is that true?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we haven't. They didn't say don't do it, but it's really like very early. We've actually been trying to do it for a year, trying to pull it off, and then the pandemic made it so hard.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
No. And it's one of those things where
I want to get him in trouble.
I didn't. No, I didn't know I was supposed to not say anything.
That's okay. It works for us. I like it.
It's awesome. I will say one of the things that's been tough about this is I haven't got to see my buddy Arnold Schwarzenegger, because this year for my birthday in January, not because of it, but on my birthday, I went to Austria with him to do an event for the Schwarzenegger Climate Institute, and I got to go, and flies me first class, and we get there and we go right to the club where this the Kitzbühel Country Club where we're going to be doing the event, and he walks out with the cake and is still in his hand. He's like, Iseman, happy birthday to you. And he sings. And I'm just sitting there. I have a photo of me holding my cake with my arm around my legend. And it was just one of those moments where I thought, if everything went away, if I had to leave, the fact that my career took me to a place where I got to meet and become friends with the guy who was on my bedroom wall as a kid growing up. It really is one of those things where I never would have imagined that life would have brought me here. And it was one of the last things I did before everything shut down, getting to go to Austria and be with him. And it was just like 4 days of being around him. But the thing that was most amazing is when you're around somebody like that, who's been a global icon for decades, who's been successful as a bodybuilder, as an actor, as a real estate mogul, as a governor, as somebody who's a philanthropist, as somebody who's making policy, someone who's done it in so many different areas, it is like going to business school. And I got to be around him and see him interacting with Lindsey Vonn, for instance, who's the greatest skier of all time, arguably.
Yeah.
And listening to her sit there and just, you could see where you're drinking in this knowledge from somebody who's done so much. And when you leave and you see this guy is tireless, where from the moment he wakes up, we were in the gym working out, which, by the way, I'm working out with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm going to stop you for 1 second. Yeah. I just want to ask, you said he was on your wall. Obviously, you had posters of him. Did you know him before Celebrity Apprentice, or that's where you
never had? I mean, I remember the moment I met him. It was the night before we started filming. We had this, a press conference, and this was kind of when the cast was being revealed, and all of a sudden, we're all lined up. It's in Santa Monica, like the Fairmont Hotel, and we're in there, and I'm nervous because I'm the least famous person on the show, and we're sitting there, and I'm sitting next to like Eric Dickerson and Chael Sonnen and Layla Ali, and Schwarzenegger comes in. And so then the press starts asking us questions, and they go, so what are you people nervous about? And nobody's answering. And then I'm like, well, I'm not famous, but I'm like, and I go, well, the hardest thing for me is going to be not quoting Arnold Schwarzenegger to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, come on, he's going to be telling us, get to the chopper, do it now. And I look over at him and he just goes,
no, we didn't.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. Now, I come to meet him and know that whatever I did, he was going to do the complete opposite because he is a ball buster.
Oh my God.
So here's a story I don't think I've ever told, but it was the highlight. It was the highlight of my time on Apprentice because, again, I go on, I'm like, my goal was not to get fired the first week. And now we're in like the 7th week. And I'm starting to do well. I got to be project manager for the second time, and it was Harry Potter, which, oh my God. Do I know Harry? Like nobody else. Everyone else is a parent.
That was shocking.
Yeah,
that you knew
nobody else knew anything. And yeah, it was disturbing, really. Like I've read the books. I've listened to the audiobooks. I've seen the movies. I've read the books like 5 or 6 times. I knew everything. So I go all in and win. And so they're interviewing me after my win when there was like no negative feedback. They literally were like, there's nothing. It was perfect. Universal would use it tomorrow. You win. Wow. And so I'm sitting there talking. And I'm just like, I'm so excited. I never believed my love for Harry Potter would get this. I just feel so lucky. And I hear this bullshit. And I look up, there's a catwalk above me. He goes, Iseman, you weren't lucky. You were good. And he throws me a stogie. He goes, enjoy the stogie because I might fire you tomorrow. And I just look back at the camera. I go, tell me you got that. And I've never seen the footage, but it was one of those moments where I just felt like, that was the first time I felt like he knew, because the very first time I met him, so after that press conference, we did like a red carpet, and he was walking around, and I remember I was next to Eric Dickerson and Chael's son, and he comes in, he's like, Eric, my man, you look so healthy. Chael, maybe we'll go a few rounds. And he looks at me and he goes, hello, I'm Arnold. I was like, I'm Matt. I'm one of your celebrities. And he's like, really? What are you famous for? I was like, I'm on American Ninja Warrior. He goes, you don't look like you have the build to do well on that show. I was like, no, I hosted. I hosted.
Matt,
he had no idea who I was. But at the end, like he said my name, you know, when it mattered, and I got to win, and we'd become friends. And to me, like, of everything I've done, Ninja Warrior's made such a difference in so many lives. But selfishly for me, the fact that I got to go on, we raised $1 million for the Arthritis Foundation. We've raised like $10 million together in the past few years at events.
Man.
And it's been just amazing that I get to do it with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And to me, it really is one of those things, like if I could go back to myself and go, just wait. Just wait.
Yeah.
Dreams are going to come true in ways you never imagined.
That's unreal.
2 guests in a row with this, by the way.
We had Ralph Garman on, who was a huge Adam West fan while he was growing up, and then became very close friends with Adam West. And I mean, when does that happen?
I know, it's kind of crazy.
I think it's one of those things, because there's something unique about entertainment where we've chosen to pursue a dream, a ridiculous dream. But I think it's when you do that, you put this energy out there, and your dreams start coming true. Sometimes in ways you didn't imagine, or, you know, things that these little gifts. But I look at it and I'm like, and it all comes from that courage to take the first step of choosing this ridiculous career.
Ridiculous is right.
Yeah.
By the way, especially ridiculous for you, who chose to be a doctor first. And it's so funny. Again, like my whole life, I felt like I had a path, and I never looked up. I never questioned it. And all of a sudden I make this switch in life, and it turns out to be the best thing. And I'm so glad I did the path. I took the path I took, because I felt like the discipline, the motivation, the biggest thing is the perspective that medicine gave me. Because, you know, when we come out here, a little less so now, but particularly with entertainment, people treat everything like life and death. You know, you're doing a commercial, like, we got to get the product shot of the wieners. If we don't get it, this will be a waste. And you feel it sometimes. You feel it's life and death. But having come from true life or death situations, I always had that perspective of, this is make-believe. This is fun. This is so much fun. And I will pour my heart into it. But at the end of the day, nobody dies if we screw up. So can I ask you something? So then your path was growing up, because your dad's a doctor. That was your focus.
I didn't always know. No, I think it wasn't until college that I really honed in and said, you know, and it was almost like this logical decision of, okay, I know I like helping people. I know I'm really good at sciences. I love problem solving. I want to help people. And it felt like the perfect career on paper, but it really was a lesson where we don't live our lives on paper, where, you know, something might seem like a perfect fit, but there's just something inside. I think that magic chemistry, whether it's a relationship or a job or a situation in life or your friends, where there's just something magical that clicks. And when you find it, God, hold on to it. And that was, honestly, that's something one of the things I loved about Lisa Arts. And the very first time we met, I think it was a Dan Smith party. There's just something about her energy where I felt on the same wavelength. And I was lucky enough to work with Lisa for a number of years. And it always felt, when you're with people who you click, it just feels like you're on your toes, because you know, however you throw the ball, it's coming back to you. And it makes you, like, your mind operates on a different level. And it's so exciting because you feel challenged, and it feels like, I don't feel I do my best on my own. I feel I do my best with people who bring it out of me. And when you find those people, I was like, when I went to Hallmark, one of my best friends, Matt Rogers, the second I met him, I'm like, this guy's going to be in my life forever. And I'm always going to want to do something with him for the same reasons I want to do something with Lisa, because I feel like I'm at my best around those people. So that's the other thing I tell people. When you find someone, especially when you're starting out, if you find someone who makes you your funniest, who makes you your most productive, like
and
hold on to them like they're gold.
Fun with too, because that really makes you go, this is not life and death. This is just life. This is just good. And this is soul feeding, and I'm happy. There's no better gift than doing what you love and then doing it with people that make you better and make you enjoy it.
And it's one of those things like, when you're hanging out in between takes, it's almost like when they start actually, oh, I'm having so much fun, I don't want to stop, but then you carry it on there. And that's, to me, the best shows are the ones where it feels like these are my friends. Like I'm friends, I just can't comment, and I think like, Rogan's podcast is an example of that, where it's not welcome back to the Joe Rogan. It's more like it's a hang, like what you guys are doing, where you guys are just good pals, and there happen to be microphones in front of you as you're having your conversations.
100%. You're right. He was talking about like just being with friends and the energy that gives you. Lisa and I've known each other. I think I was 18, you were 15.
Yep.
We started
so like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So we did sketch comedy together.
Oh.
And that's how we got to know each other as kids. And we've just stayed in each other's lives. Well, of course we're in each other's lives. We were in each other's weddings. And then this just came about because we're in COVID, and
it didn't just come about. You guys made it happen.
We made
That's those things, like take credit for that, for being smart enough to say, I'm going to do something with somebody I love.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing, because I was starting to try and do something on my own, and then it came to me. I was like, why am I not doing it
on my own? This wasn't the way it was supposed to be.
Right, but I'm so much better with her than I am without her.
Yeah.
Oh, Les.
We're having a Lisa fest.
I know. It was my favorite show ever. Okay, now we've come to an important time of the show, Matt.
Yes.
Where Lesley and I are going to play a little game called Two Cougars Pretending They're Drunk so they can ask Matt Iseman anything that comes into their head.
Ooh, love it.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay, but you got to answer the questions.
Oh, God. This could be trouble. All right, let's do it.
You ready to pretend you're drunk, Les?
Okay.
All right, you want to ask the first one? Okay.
Oh, vodka's good.
How tall are you?
Like 6'3.5".
Oh.
Are you single?
I am very newly single.
Oh, that just made me sad.
I know.
No, you know what? And the woman, she was a gift. It was awesome. Nothing but wonderful things. And, it was just didn't work out, but
you adore her. All right.
I
moving
do.
on. Let's go.
Moving on.
So, Matt, hey, can I see the size of your hand?
I'm trying to make them as big as possible right now. Look at, I remember that in Vision Quest. Oh, this over there. Big hand.
Do you manscape?
I have. I don't do it regularly, and I probably should. I'm hairy like the Wookiees. I'm a furry gentleman.
What's your favorite drink?
Sugar-free Red Bull vodka and a Stella. Honestly, the sugar-free Red Bull vodka was from med school in New York, when it was like, you're just trying to stay awake and party as much as possible. Horrible choice.
What about Mountain Dew and vodka? Because I remember.
Oh, yes. Diet Mountain Dew. I love that green healthy. That is my healthy juice, the green juice.
Good for you.
Bars never have it, though.
So, Matt, are you a butt man or a breast man?
I love both, but I will take a great rack. I'm a great rack. And honestly, I used to be like a very tight booty. I've gotten into like juicy booties lately too.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not wearing a bra.
I'm sweating. I don't know what just happened here. Talk about boobs and butts.
And nothing else. I think, is there anything else? Is there anything else that we can ask while we're pretending we're drunk that we can't ask when we're pretending to be sober? No?
I'm sure there is. I just don't want to volunteer.
I was asking Lesley, but she's not answering.
I thought we were asking him.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I don't know. Anyways.
All right. God, I feel like we're missing a big opportunity here, Lesley.
I know. I don't know.
Oh my God, what happened to us? I think
it's so funny because I start to answer things, then I go, I worked on Hallmark for 4 years. I host American Ninja Warrior. Hell, if people want to know my proclivities in the bedroom, because I'm happy to share. But
I think people really want to know. Would you like to share one or two? We already know you have a very tall bed.
I do have a very tall bed, and I'm just happy to have someone in it at times, you know.
All right. Well, but nobody's in it right now unless we just have a little bit more to drink.
Yeah. Woo!
Oh, that was a very, see, she brought it all around.
Cougar attack.
I am a cougar and I do attack. All right, listen.
Wait.
What?
Oh, no, go. Do you have a question?
Wait.
Huh?
What?
Who?
We're freezing. Okay, here's the thing. This is my question, Matt. And I don't know if you want to answer this or not, but you're a stand-up comedian, which indicates neuroses. You're a doctor, which indicates neuroses and Judaism. Is there any Judaism in your family?
My dad's dad. So I'm a quarter tribe, but not, it doesn't pass down that way. So technically I'm zero.
Oh, so it's on your dad's side.
Yeah, and it was his dad. His mom was Irish Catholic. Odd combination.
I mean, Iseman does sound Jewish.
It's German Jewish. Yeah, German Jewish name. It's Iseman, which my dad's like, it's Iron Man. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. He goes, actually, it probably means we were junk men. I was like, let's go back with Tony Stark. All right, let's make it sound like Iron Man, like we're tough. Okay.
Do you think that when things go back to normal, will you continue to shoot stuff from your studio at home?
I hope so. I really do, because it really is. I mean, just from a point of view of, hey, we can go out and, log on, do checks, and then I could go back in, come into my office or have food or just be at home, as opposed to flying to New York every week. And that was something. So I did that for, I think, 9 months, where every week I was flying out, fly out on a Sunday, fly back on a Tuesday. And
were you flying private?
No, it was, but I mean, I look, it wasn't rough. They definitely, it was first class on Delta. I'd become like Delta's top tier, all the VIP stuff, but it's still, it's like a whole day is just gone. 2 days a week are just gone.
Oh, it's
and it was so draining. And I'm in New York, but we would work from, like 1 PM till midnight on the day we worked. And then I would, get picked up at like 7 AM the next day. So you're in, you're out, and you couldn't really enjoy New York. And it was taking such a toll. And it was one of those things where it's like, oh no, I love it. I'll fly. And I was flying other places in between, doing stand-up or corporate talks or hosting events. But I didn't realize what a toll it was taking. And as we find like silver linings in the pandemic, it is the greatest gift the pandemic gave me was the chance to slow down, because I would not have taken it on my own. I wouldn't. I'm so grateful for work. I would have said, give me more. I'll travel. I'll do whatever. And to have a chance to just stop and be forced to slow down and say, just catch your breath and start to take care of yourself and start to say, I think we've all been given this chance to say, well, what do we really want? How do we want our lives to be? And I know I don't want to travel that much anymore. It just takes a toll, and I want to be around my friends. And during the pandemic, I started picking up golf. And it used to be like, I can't imagine spending that much time on golf. And now it's like, this is great. It almost fills up most of a day. I could check that off,
That's
and
fantastic.
It's been great, but it's also been nice because I get to go see people because we're outdoors. You're distant. It's one of the few things where you feel like I can comfortably be around people.
Yes.
Because I miss that. I can't wait. The two things I want to do when the pandemic's over is, one, I want to put on my Ray-Bans, my Naval Aviator jumpsuit, and go see Top Gun Maverick in a theater. And two is like, I want to go to a concert with my friends at like Staples Center. I want to go see Journey and just have some beers, be like arm in arm singing with, 20,000 people.
Yeah.
I miss that. I miss that connection, that shared experience that is something, we took for granted. And like stand-up comedy, the best part about it is getting to be in a room filled with laughter, filled with the energy of others.
Yeah.
And miss it, like not having that, that is something I would love to have again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So you know what, Lisa? So Matt, our hot topic of today was love, hate, COVID. And by the way, we didn't even have to bring it up. You just gave it all. You gave it for us.
And I always feel like, I always want to issue the caveat. Like, I know I've been one of the fortunate ones where my health hasn't fortunately been threatened. And for those who have, and for those who haven't been able to work, you know, obviously we wish this never happened.
Yes.
But I think for everybody, we've been challenged to say, how do you find the good in this? And, you know, for me, it's been slowing down and really appreciating the connections. A lot of things I think I took for granted. And some of the things that I knew were good that just kind of reminded me, oh, yeah, you're lucky to be able to have that in your life. So cherish that and keep it going. And,
sure.
And, you know, again, and I've been grateful that work has gone on because, you know, if you're in entertainment, you always feel like as soon as this season's the last season, I'm never going to work again. There's always that fear. And, you know, a certain amount of it's healthy because it motivates you. But at a certain point, you're like, God, I don't want to, I want to figure out, like, I don't want that fear. I don't want to live with scarcity. I want to live with abundance. Oh, here's the other thing that I've been really hesitant to admit because I laughed about it. I laughed about it when
I'm gonna keep
the opportunities. I'll share this with you guys because I know, Lisa, you kind of believe in some of this. But I took a Tony Robbins seminar just 2 weekends ago.
Oh, wow.
Online. I sat in my office right here and I'm just like, I woke up, it was like 6 a.m. on a Thursday when we started. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm probably going to make it like an hour because this thing's supposed to go till like, 5 in the afternoon. 8 at night that night, I'm standing up, breaking a board in my office going, yeah! It was so amazing. And I remember in college going, I was 30 pounds overweight, living in a one-bedroom apartment in Venice Beach. I just had to change my laughing about this guy. But when I saw this man speak to us, obviously through a screen, I felt like this guy is one of the greatest communicators I've ever seen. But he got me so excited about things. And what he does, his gift, it's not magic. He really forces you to hold a mirror up to yourself and just say, what do you want in life? And what's keeping you from getting it? Like really, he forces you to ask yourself those questions. And it's again, one of those things of, we all have these pat answers of, well, I want to find love or something. But he's like, really ask yourself, what does that mean?
What is it?
What's behind? And you spend 4 days going through this. And it was such a gift to have an experience like this. And, it doesn't have to be Tony Robbins. After seeing him, I'm amazed at how well he does it and how the fact, again, that he holds your attention. He was going like 12 to 15 hours a day.
Oh my God.
And it just felt like, it was such a gift to, in the midst of all this, feel like here's someone who really forced me to get some clarity in my life. And so I'm like Lisa with Peloton, where I'm like, whatever it is. But to me, I've read his books before. They're impressive. But what's different is, he says it too, where it's like there's knowledge, but then there's action. And he really inspired
but you
me.
already embody all that. Like, Lesley, don't you see people going to Matt Iseman seminars?
But it's one of those things where, with all of us, we all have blocks, all of us, right? And there were some I had of things that, I'll do things that come easy, but some of the hard things I shy away from. Yeah. And it was just interesting. And even, what motivated me to be in some of these things. And, some of the things like, I'm really not proud of that. And then, just little switches. And again, I'm not saying this is mystical or religious. No. So much of it is common sense, but he just does a good job of forcing you to ask yourself what's really going on. And it was so amazing to do it. But, again, the books and the seminars, the books on tape are great. But if you have a chance you do it from home.
Right.
Do it from your house. And there were 12,000 people, 12,000 people doing it. And I have to think every single one of them had to have, because it's really up to you, and he just teaches you, like, getting in there and he hammers it home about how much control you have over really how you're feeling.
But this is the thing, and this is interesting, and you almost just touched on it there, Matt, as you said, there's 12,000 people, but let's be honest. How many people in a room with Tony Robbins how many of those 12,000 are going to take that message and run with it? We know you are.
So here's what's interesting too, though, is, and he admits that too, where he talks about, you want to master a subject, like you model somebody, you find someone who has the statistics you want. So you find Tony Robbins, you immerse yourself. Don't do it. And don't start out an hour a week if you want to learn something. Really throw yourself into it and kickstart your learning. But then you have to have that repetition and accountability. And so I did. I signed up for coaching where once a week I'm going to be with the coach and someone who's just going to be holding me accountable on these things. But it's like fitness. Honestly, it's the same as fitness where, you could go someplace and do like a week to get excited. But if you don't keep going to the gym, nothing's going to change.
Right.
And it's the same with what you do with yourself.
You've signed up now once a week with a life coach, or
I'm embarrassed to say it, but yes, and I'm just really calling him an accountability coach, where it's just somebody who's like, hey, here are my goals, and they've really, I felt like after the 4 days, I kind of had a handle on some of the things. Here's the thing, like, I'm feeling ridiculous talking about this because I remember people saying it, being like, oh God, what a loser you are. Like, just go after your goals. But
I've been seeing a life coach since January, since just before January. So
it was, and here's the best part of it is because I'd signed up for the coaching before I did the seminar. But to me, the seminar, it's that immersion, that ability to just take 4 days to really say, all right, let me get clear on my starting point here. And
Les, are we going to do it?
I really thought the immersion, it was so invaluable. It's embarrassing to talk about it because we've all kind of laughed at some of this stuff. And I know I have, and my friends have, and a lot of people who are really successful. But when you see, like, he works with Conor McGregor, he's worked with Bill Clinton, he's worked with heads of state and elite athletes and titans of industry. And you see why, because I think he's just one of the most incredible communicators. And also he just has an ability to really cut to the chase and say, like, just ask you those questions and then give you some simple tools and ways to apply them and just hold you accountable. So
you know what? Here's the plan, Lise, because like, I literally would have to leave my house because of my kids.
Right.
So why don't you and I go, this is like a little vacation. We go.
So I saw that. There was a lot of like people
in a hotel together
or doing Airbnbs. There were groups who did that where they're like, I had to get away from my family and I just came here with a friend. That was very common.
In a hotel together.
And if you do it, you only have to pay for one. You can do that and only pay for one, and like you guys can share it and do it together.
We have to do this.
We're doing it.
Okay,
we're doing it, and then we're reporting back to Matt Iseman.
I was just gonna say we're gonna do it, and then we're gonna have you back on, and we're gonna report, and we're gonna have this whole discussion.
Well, and also hold me accountable. Like, make sure I haven't been like, I quit. Because I don't want to. Yeah, it's.
Okay, wait, Matt. Is it crazy fucking expensive?
So. I got a hookup. I was very fortunate, but I think that so I did Unleash the Power Within. I think I looked online. I think it was like $700 was the bare minimum package. And I think that's really all you'd need. Now it's a few thousand more. Now, having done it, if they were like, pay what you think this is worth, if they said, would you pay $10,000?
You'd say, sure.
In a heartbeat.
Right.
In a heartbeat, because it was just one of those things where look, here's something that's not exactly a secret because I'm pretty open about it, but I'm turning 50 in January. And so it's this point of, it's this big milestone in life. And I'm like, all right, well, what do I want? What are the things that I haven't done yet that I want? And so I think I've kind of, for the past couple of years sensed 50 is coming. Sure. And starting to choose like, well, how do I want to attack it? And what's going to be of significance? And I thought this was a really good way to feel like I'm taking charge of this.
Right.
So Matt, can you give us one thing that you'd like to achieve or possess or do by the time you turn 50?
By the time I turn 50.
That's January. So
yeah, it's January. It ain't long. No, what's funny is like I've been playing. Like I said, I started playing golf, and initially my goal was to break 80, and my handicap was 25 when I started. I'd gotten it down to like 21. I go out yesterday, the first time I played since the course, I shot like my best score ever. I shot an 87. And it was just one of those things where some of it was because one of the things he talks about is like when you get frustrated, like how he just talks to you like, this is a chance for you to change your state in that moment. So, in golf, when you start to play bad, it builds like, and I would say this, I'd be on the course going, you suck, you fucking suck. You should never play again. And I was out there and I was like, wait a second. I'm having fun and I'm not great, but I'm learning. And it was just amazing how then it was like, okay, the next shot was okay. And I'm like, I'm back instead of wasting a few holes. But it's simple things like that.
No, but that's a microcosm of life.
Golf is a mental game. I mean,
it's the biggest mental game and it really is a good barometer. And it's been fun for me to see situations like I was driving and I'm usually very much the righteous person who's like, it's alternating. You two cars win. And like, it was happening today. And I was just like, hey, you know what? Maybe it was just, look, I'm not like this magical Zen person, but it also was me going, this is a situation where normally I'd react. I'm going to choose not to react here. And because the mirror was held up.
I'm going to get off this interview. I'm already feeling so energized and yet so zen at the same time.
It was. I told my brother, and he was just like, "Yeah, show me in a month if you." And I'm like, I get it. I get why you're cynical about it, because I was too. But having experienced it, and look, even if I don't follow through on any of it, those 4 days still gave me such a perspective on being clear on what I really want and things that are holding me back. Jesus. And so like that was such a gift.
It's like,
be aware of these things.
If anything is holding you back, I'm terrified for what's going to happen when things stop holding you back. You're going to
but you know what's cool is that idea of all of us, you know what's holding all of us back? Us, ourselves, like fear, like the fears, right? The fear. And just being aware of it and really saying, well, what am I really afraid of, and what's the worst that would happen? And starting to change your motivation where, look, one of the things I was motivated by significance, obviously. I've chosen a career of external validation, right? I mean, my life has been accomplishment. It's been, go to the best schools, get a degree, do this, and whatever. And now it's like, well, what did that really mean? Why was I going after that? And now it's this idea of, I think it's more what I'm looking for. It's a small change, but it's like, I really want growth, because I felt like, honestly, for the past decade, despite it being the best decade of my life success-wise, I felt like I've been sort of stagnating, where I felt adrift, where I've been very past, life has been happening and it's been great. And when an opportunity comes, I make the most of it. But I thought, I really want to, in my 50s, start, more crafting an intentional path.
A real existential crisis for people. Approach 50.
So honestly,
I went over the hump already. So.
Well, so I have rheumatoid arthritis. I was diagnosed when I was 31, and that got me over, because I felt like an old man with that. So my body was ravaged. So like the aging thing isn't as big a deal, as more just the perspective on, you're definitely in the back half of life at this point.
Sure.
And it's like, what are the things that you really want? And I think seeing my parents age, and I know, Lisa, you lost your father. My father's, having some health issues, and that idea of we're next, so what is it that you want to leave? Because I was talking to my dad, and I'm like, Dad, he said, my life has been better than I could have possibly dreamed. He's like, I'm ready for whatever happens.
How old are your parents?
They're 81. They're 3 days apart.
Wow.
And it's tough, but it's tough because you see how much his quality of life has gone down. And my dad was an animal. He's a doctor. He took care of himself, but things happen.
Absolutely.
And there were things that I think he might have done differently. And so it's, you get these lessons in life, like, do you take them? Do we take those lessons?
Well, what you just said is really everything. I mean, essentially you're saying that life is short, even if it's long. And I sometimes think I just turned 40.
Profound, Lisa.
Thank you. Should we pause for a moment and think about it?
Let's think about it.
So I do think though, like, holy shit, I'm 49. It has gone by like this.
Yeah.
If I think, even if I have another 49 years, it's not enough. And I do think a lot of days, what can I do today to make today count? Even if it's just letting everyone in my life know I love them.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff is so important, and you don't want to have regrets about those things.
I think if you were to interview older people, I think you would say, do you have any regrets? And they would say, I regret not doing certain things in my life because I thought it would be embarrassing, or I thought it was the wrong thing, or it wasn't the right time. And it's true. You don't want to live. You don't want to have any regrets. Now I feel like I'm going to cry. I'm getting a little emotional. I'm not lying.
Well, before that happens,
anyways.
Because Lesley lost both of our dads passed away much younger than they should have.
Yeah.
And I will say though, my dad said a week before he died that his only regret was not getting to see how the show Breaking Bad was going to turn out. And I swear to God, like, my dad loved so hard, and he had zero regrets.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a life well lived.
It's a life well lived. One last question for me, and then maybe Lesley has one more. And I hate to ask you this, especially after all this that we've been talking about, but I do think people want to know. is marriage a thing that is a goal for you in the future, or is that?
Yeah, you know, even like a family. And look, obviously I lead a very self-centered life, and particularly being on my own for a very long time, I know I have gotten probably a lot of bad habits that would make me a very difficult person to be with. I would love to find somebody and build something, and, you know, whether it's kids or dogs or just a meaningful life. Yeah, I would love to do that. And I know, you know, the biggest thing that has been holding me back has been me. Mm-hmm. So, you know, and I'm working on it. I think I'm, you know, always trying to be better than I was the day before. And, you know, you don't always succeed.
You're good with commitment. You, the friends you've had for decades. Yes. I am very fortunate that I think that has been, and that's been the thing I think, you know, that I've missed. And we've had some opportunities where, you know, friends have come and stayed with me, or we did escape. We had a charity weekend that we did where about 14 of us were together. Wow.
And it just felt like you were thrown into just a bath of joy, you know, just being with those friends, where those people who I've known, you know, some of them since I was like 13, or one of them I knew since I was 2 years old. And when you're around those people, it's just like, you know, with you and Lesley, there's such a shorthand and so many jokes you have, and such a lifetime together that, you know, when you look at what's important, that's important. The people you love, that's important. And that was the thing my dad had said when he started having health issues. I go, what else do you want? He goes, I just want to make some more memories.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, like, let's make some memories, you know, let's do that. Cause, you know, making things and accomplishing things that's wonderful. But when you make those memories with your friends that, you know, hopefully when we're old and gray, you remember that time? Like, yeah. And you laugh, and then people will silence you.
Lesley's actually going to cry.
Yeah.
Do you have any last questions, Les?
No. Well, I was going to ask the same thing about family or marriage or finding a partner. But listen, you know what? You're right. It's just making memories with friends. I, too, went off during this COVID time with a group of friends. We all tested and did the most responsible thing we could do so that we could go all tuck away together.
Yeah.
Like 5 of us. I know it was 5. No, it was
it's so worth it, though. It's so worth it to have that. And
I needed to touch people aside from my children. I needed to just, you know, touch and feel and maybe get a little drunk for a few days. Anyways.
Well, I just want to say Matt used the term bath of joy, and now we're all picturing taking a bath of joy with you, Matt.
I do have a hot tub. That has been one of the nights, like, I am in my hot tub every night, and I've been cold plunging in the pool. And it's like, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky with my setup, and I'm very appreciative of my house because I hadn't been in it. I was traveling so much. I hadn't been in my home for more than 4 days in 9 months, and now I've just been here, and I love my house.
By the way, where are you right now, and what is all the paraphernalia?
This is my office. So obviously, my office has a whole lot of me. As I said, there's me and there's me. Yeah, this is my kind of, I've tried to keep it from the rest of the house. Of course, it's bled out.
What's the most favorite, like, what in the background anything? I feel like I see someone's head on a stick or something.
That's me. That was from something for a rheumatoid arthritis drug. But I will show you this. This is Schwarzenegger and Stallone and me in a Buddy the Elf sweater. This was Arnold's Christmas party. And when Stallone walked in, Arnold was like, Iseman, guess who just walked in? Because he knew how excited I was. And then I got this. This is next to the photo with my dad when I was graduating college. This is my favorite photo. And again, like, you know.
You're like, come on.
I sent this to my buddies, like, life is pretty weird, man. Life is
unbelievable.
You know what, I have to say, this is the exciting part about interviewing people on Zoom. Like, obviously, if we were in a studio, we get to see a little bit of
who they are.
Oh yeah, no, I've got a lot of wonderful things in this. Just because I'm such a nostalgic person. I was like the chronicler of our time. Like, I took all the photos and things, and I've just got all these pieces, like a banner from Ninja Warrior. I've got the scepter from when I was on RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race. And
oh yeah, wait. Okay, so I had to ask. Okay, come here. I don't know if this is RuPaul's.
No, this is from Lip Sync.
Oh, dude. Oh yeah. And you know, okay, so that's me as Cher. I had to, just before I go on, I had to talk. So the best part is I'm doing this on Lip Sync Battle.
Wait, I want to talk about that. That was going to be my
in the audience. Question. My 80-year-old parents from Nebraska were watching.
Amazing.
And my dad just looked horrified. And literally at the end, LL was like, Dr. Iseman, what do you think? And my dad just goes. And literally the producers later, they went, oh, thank God he did that. Because if he hadn't, we weren't going to show up because it looked like he was going to have a heart attack. Okay, my mom, meanwhile, was just laughing and smiling. And
no, I don't know how the show works, but was that your idea?
So this is how, so that was Emmy weekend. We were nominated for Ninja Warrior. So on the Emmys, I think we're on Monday night, I think. And so I had my parents come out, and so I get called on Friday night, and they're like, do you want to do Lip Sync Battle? It tapes Sunday. Oh. And I was like, no, I'm busy. And if I do this, I want lead time because I want to plan. And they go, we may never ask again. I'm like, sold, I'm in.
And was it automatically you and Akbar?
Yeah, the two of us did it. And so they send you a song list. They're like 60 songs, that they can get clearance for. And so I go through it. And meanwhile, because I do my homework, I read a lot of interviews with the show's EPs. And they're like, okay, choose a song you love, choose a song that will get the audience pumped, but choose something that plays against type because, people love to see that and go all in. Brilliant. And so I look at this and like, I love cheesy music. We on RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race, they're like, we're going to do Celine Dion. It's all coming back to me now. I'm like, I know it. Jim Steinman wrote it, got it down. Already know it. I've had that song on single CD, everything I got. So it was Cher. And they're like, okay, here's what I'm doing. I want to do Believe, but I want the Time After Time outfit. And I want to be, because that was the one where she was in that song and on the battleship with between her legs. And then I go, and I want you to lower me down on wires and I want to fly in. They're like, how much do you weigh? They go, we're not using wires.
Oh,
but
my
so
God, man.
you walk in on Sunday, and immediately there are professional dancers who are like, okay, come with us. Here's the dance. We're going to learn it. Now, I don't dance. So if you're a dancer, I'm sure it's like A, B, C, D. But I don't know anything. So I'm like learning this. And literally I'm like, okay. So then I took notes and I just wrote it down. And I was like, as I'm doing makeup and things, we're studying it. And so you do your first song. I did Meatloaf. I Would Do Anything for Love. Also Jim Steinman. And they're like, we don't do any choreographing. So I go to Hollywood Toys and Costume. I built a pirate shirt and I got the Meatloaf Ben Kenobi mask. Right. And I actually had like fire paper. I choreographed my own dance for that one.
Oh,
but then for Cher, I ran the dance 4 times. And that was the first time I was in costume we did Meatloaf. And then they're like, okay, you got 7 minutes. So I had 7 minutes to get into that outfit, get my makeup done, get the wig on, and come out and then do this dance that I'd done 4 times. I killed it. I killed it. Matt, because I'm a gamer. I was like, this is my opportunity.
Fuck. Listen to me. All right. You only had 7 minutes to get into that costume. Who hid the junk, and was it uncomfortable?
Me. They handed duct tape to do what you got to do. And that was the same on Secret Celebrity Drag Race where they really, they take you through it. And that time he was like, you got to use duct tape. And then as I'm about to do it, he goes, you don't actually have to use it. And he also goes, you haven't shaved, have you? I go, no. He goes, do not use the duct tape. It spared me from it. But it was one of those things again where it's like, what an opportunity. But when I get an opportunity, I'm up for anything and I will go all in and and actually from that show, Maverick produces it. I did a pilot with them because they're like, we love your energy. And the pilot didn't go, but it was one of those things of what a lesson of why you show up, say yes to things and go all in.
Absolutely.
Because you never know the connections. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what's going to come from it. And in this business, it's a marathon. And it might not be now. It might not be a month. It might be 10 years later. But it's like, if you can create goodwill and create opportunities and create relationships, do it. Go do it and have fun while you're doing it.
100%. 100. Listen, Matt.
My God.
He's unbelievable. You seriously are.
Well, a lot of times I say this stuff because I want to remind myself because I don't always follow my own advice, I ain't perfect.
Yeah, no, you're pretty close to perfect. And I told Matt to carve out 25 minutes and it's been an hour.
It's flying by because you two are a blast to talk to.
Well, Matt, listen, I adore you, and you are not only such a talent, but you're such a mensch, and you're such a good man, and you are always such a good friend, and I appreciate it. I feel very, very lucky to know you. And
love you, Lisa. And now I feel like, Lesley, I love you too.
I love you too.
You're
hey,
amazing.
Listen, I'm good. My kids are such huge Ninja fans.
Well, if we're taping, when we tape, and hopefully we have crowds.
One day we're gonna
VIP. Yeah, come on out. I get such a it's such a kick that people care about what I do and that they get to come out and bring their kids. It was one of the great things. We got to go back to Denver. This was like season 4, so this was probably 2012. And this was like the first time I came back to Denver with like a big show, and my friends all came out, and it was like one of those moments to go, you remember when I left and you guys all thought I was crazy? Look at me now. And it was so cool because I got a photo with like 30 kids, my friends' kids. Like I was on the course with them, and it was just awesome to get to do something. And think, it's still going. We just finished season 12. Like, when I'm lucky to have done Clean House as long as we did. Yeah. I've been very lucky to be a part of some shows where, people have really loved them. And like my mom says, I'm not embarrassed. Yeah, I appreciate that. I love it. I always feel like I give everything I got and always want it to be, what I love about Ninjas, I feel like it's like I'm enthusiastic and I'm optimistic, and I love the underdog story. I love like Rocky and Hoosiers and Rudy. And I love that we get real life stories, and to get to share those stories and to see the difference it makes, and to see these little kids who maybe felt like I can't play basketball or football, but they find Ninja Warrior, and all of a sudden they're in a community and they find a home.
Yes.
And it's awesome that this show has done that.
So amazing. I can't wait to come visit one day in 2022.
He'll stick to it too. God. All right, Matt, we're going to let you go.
All right. Love you, ladies.
Love you so much. Let yourself out.
All right.
Yeah, bye-bye. Our conversation.
Bye.
He's never leaving. Did he leave? Or is he frozen?
I think we asked him 3 questions.
I swear to God. Wait, is he just frozen on our screen? Is he on your screen, or he's just on mine?
He's just on yours.
Oh my God, he's frozen on my screen.
Oh, you're so lucky.
This is insane.
You don't want to lose it.
Take a picture and then we'll leave. Look at this. Wait, hold on. Wait.
He's not on my screen.
He's still with me.
That is so funny. Maybe that's a sign.
I don't know. Anyways,
we got to go.
We got to go. How long was that? 3 hours? Listen, Lise, I love you. That was amazing. He's very inspiring, and I can't wait for you and I to take a little vacay and go do Tony Robbins for 4 days.
That has to happen now.
Let's make that happen.
How obsessed
we got to go. We love you. Lisa, plug the show.
Huh?
Plug the show. We got to go.
But I was going to say, how obsessed are you with Matt Iseman now?
Well, I'm a little obsessed. I might have wanted to be like, I'm not wearing a bra. No, I'm just kidding. I have juicy breasts. Anyways.
I'll let him know. Okay, guys, please like us, subscribe, become a part of our community. We want you here. We're going to give you as much content as we can.
We just gave you a full hour.
I mean, holy shit.
I hope people continue to listen.
How could you not? It's Matt Iseman.
Exactly.
And thanks for being here. Love you, Les.
Love you, Lisa. I'm going to leave.
Bye.